Today's May 10th, 2025. We're here for the Columbus Free Press May Day version of the Free Press Salon. Welcome everybody that wants to be or is a mother. Good job. But one thing I did understand in my recent history is that not all women want to be mothers and not all mothers are women. So there you go. So we have some good speakers today on our subject, and we're wanting to sort of do a little focus on immigrant and worker rights. Today is May 10th, but this past week past 10 days, we've had May Day. Over 1,000 events happened across the country on May Day. Very unusual, even though that holiday or that day of resistance started in the United States, but we had over 1,000 events. May 4th, 55th anniversary of Kent State happened this past 10 days. Jackson State, May 6th. And we had big action today called by Indivisibles, and there's many other things. Paladna, I hope Mazen can talk about a little bit about the event tomorrow, about the memory of Nakba, the Al Nakba event that happened in the early days of the imperialist establishment of a Zionist entity in the Middle East. So Mazen has to get going. He's got a graduation party he's got to go to. So I'd like to have him speak first, but we have a few announcements before everybody gets going. I didn't see if Bob was on yet. Is Bob on? Bob Krasen is on. So yeah, if we can make Bob a co-host and he can make a quick announcement about the Columbus Bill of Rights effort that's coming up. And then Mazen will go then after that. And then Teresa, you're on, right? I saw that you were on, I think. Yeah, good. Yeah. Good. So are you okay sort of being at the not the end, but at the next version up? So Bob, are you okay, ready to go?
Ready to go. I'm Bob Krasen. I'm a member of Columbus Community Bill of Rights, which is an organization about 10 years ago, which started around the issue of fracking and fracking waste in the city of Columbus, in the Columbus watershed. Over time, we've gotten the attention of the leadership of Columbus Water and currently feel as though we're recognized as partners with them, addressing the issue of safety of our water. We decided this past fall and winter to give attention to another issue of community rights, which impacts a large number of progressive causes. It is the ongoing attack of the legislature and governor known as state preemption. Preemption takes away the rights of municipalities and villages which have home rule to local self-government. We thought if we in the capital city could have success in Ohio, then others in the state and nation might make the effort as well. Some of the issues included in Ohio preemptions have been minimum wage, gun restrictions, rent control, pesticide use, plastic bag use, and many others. Ranked choice voting is now another prime target. So we're planning an initiative petition for Columbus City Charter Amendment to contest the preemption in Columbus. We will begin gathering signatures for a city ballot initiative at Comfest, June 27th to 29th. We will have 2 years to gather enough valid signatures in the range of 12 to 15,000. I'm reporting this to you today first to ask for your help with advertising this initiative in your local publications. We've already received pledges of support from 3 organizations whose logos we are including on our handout. Don't think you can see that, but there is ranked choice voting, move to amend, and healthcare for all Ohioans. I hope that some of you might be able to help with signature gathering within your organizations and Columbus neighborhoods. I hope that you'll let us know about events you are having or connected with at which we can gather signatures. And finally, we will be asking for financial support for this venture. I put the contact information for your questions and responses in the chat. Any questions? I'll take a few.
Thank you. Let's see. Today, another day. You must go. I don't see any in the chat right now, but thank you for that early notice of the campaign that's about to kick off. We know you've had several efforts over the years, and one of the yeah, Lynn wants to know when are the signatures. I believe you said at Comfest was the beginning, right?
Right. And we have
And
2
you
years.
have all the language and everything ready up go.
We have that pretty well finalized. It's all set and we're ready to go to print.
Okay, great. Klein and all, and everybody's good with it. Good, good.
Whether ready or not, here we come.
Here we come. There you go. Yeah. And you said 25,000 signatures, but we should probably go for 50.
Well, we don't know exactly yet, but it's somewhere going to be around 12 to 15,000 valid signatures.
Okay.
This is just for the city of Columbus. This is not suburbs. This is nowhere
Just
beyond the
Columbus.
city of Columbus.
Yeah.
So that is cuts it down. We wouldn't have enough ability to do countywide.
Right. And you said when is the campaign expected? Lynn wants to know when they're going to turn them in. When's the expected day to turn those signatures in with
by 2027, we need to have them in, so probably prior to Comfest 2027.
Okay. Spring of 2027 is the date, probably. All right, so that gives us some time to get those signatures together. It's not a frantic thing. We do have other petitions going on that are a little bit more frantic. The Safety Collective is circulating petitions right now for City of Columbus, and then also the SB 1 referendum to repeal the insanity the SB 1 is. So those are some campaigns that are going on right now, and then yours is good timing because those would be timing down and then gearing up with those that agenda. So that's a good timing, actually, I believe, for the progressive community in Columbus, Ohio. So thanks, Bob. Any other questions? Anybody? I'm sorry, I'm on my phone today, so I can't really see too. I'm going to jump on my computer here in a minute. But thank you, and look forward. Please get a article written, come on the radio stations. I'm sure Carolyn saw her today down at the demonstration, but I'm sure she and others would be for sure putting those out on the radio stations. And if we can just keep using our earned media, the Free Press network is pretty good of getting the word out to things here locally. So definitely please use us.
We will be on the Carolyn show, that's for sure.
Very good, very good. All right. Well, thank you. So let's move on. Does anyone else have any other? Yeah, Stephen. Yeah. Oops, I'm here. I might have a little feedback coming on because I'm jumping on right now to the computer. But yeah, Mazen, why don't you get going with your presentation? Mazen Rasoul is a very active person in Central Ohio, but his day job is doing immigration. So thought he'd be good to get on and sort of give a little bit of flavor of where he's seeing things going on right now, and where are some target spots possibly that the progressive community and others that are interested in stopping this draconian effort that's going forward. So, Mazen, are you ready to go now?
Yes, thank you, Mark. I don't know,
Thank
can
you.
you hear me well?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Mark, for inviting me. And sorry, I have to drop off early just because of timing. Things got mixed up with different things. First, my name is Mazen Rasoul. I'm an immigration attorney. I've been practicing for about 10 years in Columbus, immigration law primarily. I'm also Palestinian American and active on so many levels. So the combination of being Palestinian and immigration attorney um, is very interesting these days to have. Um, uh, as Mark mentioned, before I get to immigration, we do have an event tomorrow, May 11th, at the McCoy Center in Hilliard, Ohio, to commemorate 77 years of the Palestinian Nakba catastrophe, which happened in 1948 and we believe is ongoing. But would love to have you all present. There's different sessions throughout the day from 12 to 8 p.m., educational sessions, activities, bazaars, and shows. And, love to have you all. I posted in the chat a link to our Facebook page where it has the full flyer and the full schedule for you guys to attend. And if anyone has any questions on it, feel free to reach out to me or to Mark, and I would love to give you more information about it. Immigration now. When Mark asked me to speak on immigration, I was like, what in immigration should I talk about? There's so much happening that we really needs way more than just a, 10, 15-minute talk to really cover it all. For the purposes of this meeting in Central Ohio, primarily, and immigration and workers' rights and so on, I have a few things that I would like to share. Yes, it's a chaotic situation, very chaotic. Every day we're seeing different um, policies, different procedures, and different groups of the community that are being under attack. So, for example, our focus was for a few weeks on the students. We had, hundreds of students who got their visas revoked overnight. Just got an email and said, "Yo, hey, your visa's revoked. Leave the country." So there was so much focus on that. Many students got detained, and some are still detained. But we have seen some reversal by the administration on that, where they reinstated the status of most of those students, yet not all of them. But they have reinstated many of those statuses. But there's still a lot to cover in that area where the part of their visa is reinstated. So their stay here is now technically legal, but the visa in itself is terminated still, where if they travel, they can't come back. So it's a very tough situation that we're dealing with, which affects really the community in so many ways. Many of those students are graduate students, PhD students, people in the medical field, people who really we desperately need to graduate and continue to work. Someone on OPT, which is allows them to work after graduating, and they have technically jobs that they didn't know if they should report to their job or not. So that's one of the hottest things or the biggest things that we've been dealing with. Now, on the other hand, we also have an attack on just immigrants in general. So, in the past few years, you've noticed probably in Central Ohio an influx in the amount of immigrants that made it to Central Ohio and around it. As I spoke to Mark earlier, like for example, Springfield, right? We saw, Haitian community come, other communities in Columbus. We have a lot of Guinean community members and other nationalities that made it and settled in Central Ohio. Now, all those people came in contrary to what is being said when they say illegal entry. A lot of them came in on actual government sanctioned programs. So the Biden administration had a program that brought in, you know, hundreds of thousands of Haitians, Venezuelans, Cubans, um, from those countries that they were able to actually apply for and come in through that path. There's also something called CBP-1, which you probably heard of, where people who were in Mexico just had to apply on, provide their information, they got an appointment, and at that appointment, they presented themselves at the border, they were vetted, screened, and then let in. So all those people's status now has been revoked by this new administration. So those people who counted on the status, had work permits, are working, and we know so many industries, and again, Springfield is a perfect example here, is that, so many industries in Springfield and manufacturing counted on those people who had work permits, legally allowed to work, were working, and just got an email saying your status has been revoked, you must leave, depart the United States immediately. And if you don't, and it's specifically said in the email, if you don't leave, we will find you. Like that's the type of language that the administration is currently using with those people. So many of those people are currently in limbo, where they don't know what to do. Many of them, including other immigrants who came in before those programs, even or outside of the programs, are, for example, asylum applicants. They come from countries that are war-torn countries, or dealing with a lot of gang violence, dealing with a lot of political issues and unrest. So they are asylum applicants. Now, those applications mostly are in immigration courts, but those courts, as we know, are not even part of our judicial branch of government. So those judges in these courts are administrative judges, employees of the Department of Justice. So the judge in this court is an employee of the Department of Justice who reports back to the Attorney General and hence to the President. And the prosecutor in those courts is an employee of the Department of Homeland Security who reports back to the Secretary of Homeland Security and hence to the President. So both people who you are against and the one who is actually making the final ruling are employees of the executive branch. So the executive branch has made so many orders recently to order those judges and those courts to expedite removal hearings, expedite the process, and that really jeopardizes due process and those people's ability to actually have their full day in court to present their cases. And now we're seeing deportations be happening to third countries. The law says traditionally, you can't deport someone except to their own country of origin. But now they're trying to deport people to El Salvador, as we've heard a lot. And now Libya is being mentioned as another destination where they're going to deport people to Libya, even if they're not from Libya. And it's getting worse on that level. And this is affecting people again in their jobs, in their lives. I, for example, have so many clients who are from Haiti who relied on the TPS program, temporary protected status, due to the situation in Haiti, the unrest in Haiti, and all the violence happening there. They've been on TPS in the US for so long. And the last TPS program that was renewed by the Biden administration was supposed to last until February of 2026. And people had work permits based on this status. And the courts themselves dismissed people's removal cases or closed their files due to this TPS program. But one of the things that was done recently is that the Homeland Security Secretary rescinded that program and shortened the time for it. And now it expires in August of 2025. So many of my clients actually have approval notices. They have letters that say you have TPS until February 2026. But now we know that this letter isn't valid anymore because their TPS expires in August 2025. Now, the Homeland Security Secretary will make a determination in June whether to renew it, extend it, or cancel it altogether. We're waiting for that decision by her. She hasn't made it yet. But I don't understand how any human being could, with any straight face or any basic argument, claim that the situation in Haiti is so stable at this point that it's okay to send people back to Haiti and therefore not renew TPS. But that's one of the main things that we're dealing with right now. So those generally are the biggest things concerning immigrants in the US. Now, other than this, we know that the border and the southern border is really a highly militarized area now. And the military is being deployed there to stop any immigration to coming in through the border. But also the more dangerous thing is that even at airports, we are seeing people who have legal visas to come to the US, whether visitor visas, student visas, being harassed at the border, being denied entry in so many ways, and being searched to a point where it's now become a standard for them to take people's phones and copy the data on these phones when they try to enter the US. And this is even affecting US citizens at some point at these borders. And we've had so many US citizens who have reported that their phones were confiscated at the border while re-entering the US. I would like to take questions if anyone has anything about a specific thing that you would like to ask about and I could cover.
I have a question. I
Yes.
sure want to say thank you for all your efforts. I am just very impressed and touched with your story and the stories of so many people that you support. Has Congress showed any interest in intervening in any of this? They certainly have the authority and ability to do that, but it really doesn't sound like they've been engaged at all.
Yeah, there hasn't been any movement in Congress regarding those subjects. There was in the Senate, there was a bill that was supposed to put an end to the deportations to El Salvador and demand that due process be followed. But that bill didn't pass, and actually, Vice President Vance casted the tie-breaking vote on that bill. But nothing else has been going on in Congress, unfortunately. And if I would want to add one more thing is that, to be very honest, the problem with immigration didn't start with this administration on its own. The problem with immigration has been going on for so long. And immigration lawyers have been calling on both parties, both sides of this, is that we need a comprehensive, a real reform to our entire immigration process and system. We need our immigration courts to go under the judicial branch, to have actual fair hearings and trials for people. We need a lot of things to be changed, but unfortunately, there was never real interest to resolve immigration things. Even the dreamers, we know the dreamers, we know everything about them, and we know that at least the liberals talk about the importance of having an actual pathway for dreamers to have settled their status. But nothing really has been done on that since 2010, other than the DACA. And then every time it comes up in Congress, as you asked Congress, they try, both parties, to be honest, try to bundle it up with other issues where they disagree more on. And then and immigration lawyers, I'm part of AILA, American Immigration Lawyer Association, and we've been always calling for, just separate the Dreamers case from everything else, pass something that would give them permanent protection and a pathway towards getting green cards. But that never happened, and we don't see too much willingness on that.
Thanks, Mazen.
Yeah.
Yeah, the insanity of this whole politics is that it was probably President Reagan not since President Reagan, was there any really aggressive immigration comprehensively addressed? I mean, there's been piecemeals here, piecemeal there, but not since Reagan, basically, is my understanding. Yeah.
That's correct. Since President Reagan, there hasn't been a major change on immigration laws other than small bits and pieces here and there.
Yeah.
And then we've seen the current administration even go back, like against the students' case. They're using a 1952 law that was meant to target Soviet spies, I think, or something at the time, and now that's being used as a weapon against student activists.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they throw in the 1786 stuff, 1789 stuff. It's like when I guess we are getting a good, clear vision of what they thought was great and when. So
the Alien Enemies Act.
the
Yep.
Alien Enemies Act, yeah, it's crazy. Nevin is calling in from Mexico City, and he has a question for you real quick before you jumped off, if you don't mind. Nevin, can we unmute Nevin possibly?
Hello.
Hey, Nev.
Good evening.
He used to be in Columbus, but now he's our Mexican reporter. He went opposite, where they all talk about the folks coming this way, but he went the other way. Thanks, Ned.
For every flow, there's a counterflow.
Yes, sir.
For every action, there's a reaction. There are more than a few people from the United States in this country and others.
Yeah.
I do have a question, Mr. Rasoul. You identified yourself as the ethnicity is one that's been of concern to me personally for some time, that it's for people who work in immigration in this country, in Mexico, it's an open secret that tens of thousands of migrants who pass through the country every year, 20, 30, 40,000 are from North Africa. Arabs from North Africa, all this sub-ethnicity of Arabs from all the North African countries. And you said your Palestinian more or less share that ethnicity. Considering that policies of the empires are to demonize different groups, it's since there's been so many campaigns to demonize Arabs over the years, it's always been surprising me that this flow has continued. Is it continuing now this year also? They're talking about people from Latin America and other groups, but as far as I know, the flow of Cubans and North Africans is continuing through Mexico without having been stopped. The border patrols in the south border of Mexico with Guatemala are stopping Central Americans. And in the northern border now, been militarized. The wall was built at Mexico's expense, not by bricks, but by soldiers with the new National Guard, as I wrote in articles a couple of years ago. And it seems that Arabs from North Africa and Cubans are still flowing in the same amounts as always. Is that impression true? That's my question. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. I'm not sure about the numbers and the demographics. There are people from not necessarily just North African, it's mostly from like West African countries who are coming through the southern border. But there's an interesting twist here that not too many people speak about, and that tells you how a lot of issues and topics are really interconnected with each other. Just briefly, I'll touch on this here. Nicaragua, we all don't know much about Nicaragua. Nicaragua has had an embargo and sanctions on it for many, many years. I think people forgot even why do we have sanctions and embargo on Nicaragua? Similar to why we have, the embargo and sanctions on Cuba, for example, right? So they're back from the Cold War era. We have those sanctions and things on there. And they've been demanding that U.S. lift those sanctions and embargo for so long, and the U.S. refuses to do that. So what Nicaragua did in recent years is they waived the visa requirement for all countries from around the world. So anyone from anywhere around the world could fly to Nicaragua with no visa. That brought in a lot of Eastern African countries and other nationalities, people, and even from Haiti and other places in the world. They started to fly to Nicaragua because it's visa-free, and then from there, take the road up north to the US. And that a lot of the immigration that came in through the southern border in the past few years started off their trips through the Nicaragua area. So if really lawmakers really wanted to resolve this, big numbers of people coming into the southern border, they could really, make a deal with this country and allow it to do its business without our interference. But now we're going too much political here. And then, but there are so many issues that cause this movement of people towards the US from South America, Latin America, and Central America, and from other places around the world.
Yeah. Yeah, the Mauritanian
Right.
issue here in Ohio has really gained proportionality to concern And it will be on a tour. There's a big tour coming through nationally, and they're coming to Columbus mid-May. So I'll put that information out. But yeah, the African flow, as you call it, flow. I don't like calling migrants flowing
Right.
or anything, but because if you're really thinking about it, we should let capital flow and labor flow very freely. That's the way we should be, but they let capital flow pretty nicely. But they don't let people flow like they should. Borders are what they are. Bob, I believe you have your hand up again. So if you'd like to go ahead, say another thing, and then we'll
Thank
probably
you.
let Mazen get off and go to his graduation
No,
thing.
you're good.
Okay.
I saw a story recently that a lot of people trying to get into the country have gone around the US from the Mexican border up to Canada and are trying to come in down through Canada because it's a more porous border. Is that true? Is that an issue?
I really can't speak much on that. I mean, I haven't seen anything
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
Whatever happens at the borders takes a few months to actually see locally,
Okay.
but we haven't seen much of that. I mean, I won't be surprised of it, but at the same time, you think about it logic. I don't know. I mean, if someone makes it to Canada, I don't know what incentive they have to then
Come to
try
the
to
US.
come to the US.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, that would be my question is why are you trying to get why are you trying to come here? Unless there's family. I mean that's the
yeah.
reality.
That's correct. Yeah.
So uh if you don't mind, let's move Teresa into this conversation a little bit. And Teresa uh, Familia is a OSU geography professor, has been in town about 3 years now. We had her on recently to speak on some stuff in February. But her work continues to be resonating on these subjects, and I wanted to bring her in again. So thanks, Teresa, again for coming and giving us a little bit of your knowledge on these things. And I'll let you go forward. Thank you.
Thanks. I do not feel super knowledgeable about immigration. It's really a newer area for me. I did a little bit of work pertaining to immigration when I was a graduate student at University of California, Santa Cruz. And I worked on a couple of community projects that were led by professors at the university on, especially around uh, housing issues, which is a big problem in California, big problem across the country, and especially with the cost of living in California. And that was the first time that I've really worked on anything with immigration. Um, a lot of my work is within the African diaspora, which is part of how I became involved in immigration work currently, in working specifically looking into um, the effects of changing immigration policy on Haitian community members. And so I connect my understandings of the transatlantic slave trade and plantation geographies to how Haitian people ended up in the Midwest, and what the legacy is of Haitian immigration to the US. Um, so this is something that I've become very passionate about, and it's something that I was able to look at a little bit with students this semester. They did a comprehensive, I had a few students doing research with me, and they did a comprehensive literature review on the changes to Haitian immigration to the US, and the way that Haiti is viewed by the federal government, and how that uh, informs the way that Haitian people are treated in the US, especially with their immigration status. So that's been a bit of a focus of mine, but I would still say I'm very new to it. I've been getting to know people in the area who are also passionate about this issue, Haitian community members as well. I'm very, very fond of the Haitian Community Help and Support Center in Springfield. They've been putting on amazing events. They had their first fundraiser last Saturday, May 3rd. It was honestly such a joy to be there. They brought in Haitian history professor from Georgia. They had Haitian DJs and Haitian food and other musicians and dancers, student dancers. It was a beautiful event, and they'll be putting on more events this summer. So I hope that people will stay connected. It's a short, easy drive to Springfield, um, and supporting that community that is they're going through it right now. So.
Thanks, Teresa. Teresa, you also have some work with the AAUP, and AAUP is starting to gain some work. AAUP is the American Association of University Professionals or Professors. I've heard it both ways. Ohio, there have been some contracts. And where are we at? I know the leadership is changing a little bit with the local, and hopefully that there's a great board I've heard and good leadership coming in. So, what's your expectations for this coming time
Mm.
for a Columbus campus? If not happy, but there are nationally there is the AAUP is gaining strength and compassion in the contracts field.
Yeah, the attacks on professors, on curriculum, on universities through DEI and just general student belonging initiatives, and just this spreading attack on tenure has apparently really encouraged people to become part of some sort of labor organizing. So, I know that at main campus, AUP membership has, I believe, tripled this year, and we're still, getting people in. We're not talking about moving towards unionization yet. We're still collecting uh, a strong base, I guess. I'm coming into this situation from California. I was on strike twice as a graduate student. One was a wildcat strike. And so it's been a little mind-boggling to go from an extremely pro-labor
Welcome to Ohio.
yeah, to a campus that is very afraid of labor organizing, that is also incredibly siloed and makes it incredibly difficult to organize. But it's also been great to see our numbers growing, the membership meetings getting a lot larger. People, just generally worried about things like SB1, about potentially not having tenure. And then also in protecting students, I think the graduate students organized a great event at the end of the year, a Know Your Rights event, where they brought in um, uh, people from community organizations in Columbus, as well as campus resources, as well as AAUP, to talk about, mobilizing to protect members of our campus who are not citizens. So I think that's also a really important area. Of course, uh, we recently had um, some great news about students on campus being able to stay, coming after Akwar's actually very dramatic press conference in which the university um, just acted horribly, which is consistent with what they've been doing towards students involved in Palestinian organizing, as well as um, students who are just.
I think she froze up, but I, I'm getting the feeling of where Teresa's going is the work for workers' rights, the campaigns to build workers' rights has much overlap with immigration and and citizenship and other things. Teresa, you locked up, so I moved on. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I don't know where I was where I was in my ramble. Um,
That's all right.
yeah, I'll just stop there. I'll just say that one of the reasons that we're AUP membership has increased is not just because faculty are worried about their own jobs. It's that I do believe that faculty are extremely concerned about the well-being of their students. So that's bringing a lot of people in as well.
That sounds, yeah, and the students and faculty have been very strong on the SB1, and there is a campaign to repeal that, as we've been saying. If you haven't signed that petition yet and you're an Ohio resident or Ohio voter, you have to be a voter, and we need folks from 44 plus counties, so we need to have that campaign move forward. So they're trying to get that move forward to kick SB1 out, just like we did back in 2011 with Senate Bill 5. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that that really has to be grassroots. The unions have decided not to endorse. My understanding is because of the cost.
Mhm.
So this is really has to be a grassroots effort.
Yeah. Mazen, thanks again for coming on. Go and Teresa as well. Mazen's got to get off. He's going to graduation, and you're probably getting ready for some Mother Day stuff too, probably, huh? There, Teresa, probably. I don't know how much you celebrate that, but I know you got little ones. Um,
Thank you, Mark, and everyone. I just dropped my email in there too if anyone has
yes.
any questions. I'm sorry I have to drop early, but thank you very much. Mother's Day, by the way, in the Middle East, we celebrated March 21st. So
Uh,
we already did that. So yeah.
yes, sir.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. And yeah, Mazen, thank you. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. And again, at the McKay Center up in Dublin, I believe it's uh 12 till something, 12 to 6, 12 to 7.
Yes, it's the McCoy Center in Hilliard.
Wait,
It's
McCoy.
behind Old Hilliard, in the middle of the Old Hilliard area, and it's 12 to 8. Yeah, you don't have to come through the 8 hours, but there's like different things throughout the day. Looking
Yeah.
forward to see you.
And bring your kids. It's supposed to be very friendly
Absolutely.
to you
Very,
guys.
most of it is for kids. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. See
Bye-bye.
you tomorrow. Yeah. And thank you. It's Hilliard. I
Thank
was going to Dublin.
you.
No,
Yeah.
not too far away. All right. But Teresa, again, your research, you're minimizing yourself a little bit by the work and the respect you're gaining by some of the work you are doing. I'd speak with people and they're just, oh yeah, Teresa, we love her, we love her. You know, so you're whatever you're doing really well. So keep it up and yeah, I wanted to get over to the event on Saturday. Heard it went very well. Great food, excitement, a lot of entertainment and community event it was, and they were scared that it was not going to get well turned up, but I think it was adequately okayed. Yeah, yeah. So that was good. And did you get to go over there?
Yes, I did.
Good, good.
Yeah, it was wonderful. And I'm hearing murmurings of a um I don't want to mess up which holiday it's gonna be for because I know we have a lot of holidays coming in the next month or so, but I'm definitely hearing murmurings of a musical group coming up for one of these summer events. So definitely
Very nice.
share that when the flyer's out.
Please do, and we'll put it out as well. Um, Anybody got anything else? I mean, it's don't we weren't going to be long today, anyways. We were wanted to make a salon happen and speak with each other on things, but we can make it informal as we go here. Worker and immigrant rights today, May 10th, 2025. we're speaking about those issues because they are very pertinent to what's going on in the current, whatever we call it, this regime that we're moving forward in. Um, Anybody, Tekla, you jumped on a little later than a lot of things. Are you caught up with everything? I know you got to unmute if you're going to talk. I don't know if you can. Maybe you can. Hang on, Tekla. You got to unmute. There you go. All right.
I came in late because I couldn't find the credentials for the meeting. I couldn't find the email or the credentials.
Well, you know, we're just trying to be like CPUSA. We got high credentials, you know, so we don't just allow anyone in, you know. So I'm glad you kept on trying to find the how to get on. Yeah, Suzanne does send those things out through email and Facebook invite. And when they do come, I know we have a tendency of just going through and delete, but I think we need to save what comes out from Suzanne all the time. So we'll make it right. But I'm glad you made it on. Do you have anything, Tekla, on these subjects, the workers' rights and immigrant and your research when you were a professor way back in those days?
My research was mathematics.
Yeah, I know, Matt. So you should speak about the new. Well, you should speak about the new pope. The new pope is a mathematician, I didn't too. I heard. Yeah, from Vanderbilt, I think. Vanderbilt or Villanova. Yeah, Villanova in Pennsylvania. That was his study. He was mathematician. That was one thing that someone told me that most of the new theologians are coming from mathematician backgrounds, which is an interesting concept. I always thought, you know, calculus was a theoretical way to get as close to zero without getting to zero. So maybe that's what God is too, trying to get to zero without getting there. I don't know. We're going off. Bob, please.
I would like to say about the Pope, when I heard he was American, I said, oh, no, not an American. But I have been pleasantly surprised. He is apparently a very cosmopolitan person and riding on the heels of Francis. It is Francis #2 as far as I'm concerned. I thought it was interesting that he took the name Leo. Leo the 13th had a wonderful human justice encyclical Rerum Novarum. I think it was written in 1897, which talked about working people and people who were oppressed and people who were marginalized. So I'm really very happy and surprised to see him be where he is.
Mm-hmm.
I see that he is ready cross swords with President Trump and his Vice President Vance, and said the world is not the way you're looking at it. So I think that's a good sign.
Yeah. Hopefully, as things start, they move forward that way. I mean, 1.4 billion people are expecting it, so that's a big number. I don't know how many people in the United States, but the United States Catholicism has always been sort of a kissing cousin or something of the international Catholicism. At least my understanding. I'm not an expert, so I can't tell you that's what's happening. So, but that's the way it seems. Yeah. So the working rights. We have several opportunities coming up to show our support for federal workers and other things. The Central Ohio Labor Council is hosting a May 15th event out at the UFCW, that's Maine and Yearling, it's a writing posters or postcards and designing posters for upcoming demonstrations. So that'll be May 15th out at the UFCW. So if you want to go out and meet up with some labor folks, they'll be very nice to see you. I guess you can take a picture of that QR code if I can get it to you. There we go.
Cool.
I don't know if it works, but I'll send it to Suzanne and she can post it out to the negative stuff, the other stuff. There's other things coming up. Comfest is looking for folks to be MC sort of type folks, 10 minutes in between the bands. Tim Chavez, I saw that you wanted the group to be unmuted. Can he be unmuted so he can share a little bit about this?
I got it. I'm here.
Okay. Do you want to speak a little bit about Comfest? Is this coming up? Because that's another opportunity. I know WGRN is going to have a booth there, I believe.
Yeah, we're going to be there. I'd really like to speak a little bit about the immigration stuff.
Please, go ahead.
Go ahead. We have a federal police force on the street.
Yeah.
And I just wonder how could someone be arrested when the person that's arrested you is masked. They don't show any badges, no identification. And even after they commit these atrocities with people and, cart them off, basically kidnap them, is that there's no way, they don't even admit who took them. You don't know if you were taken by the Department of Homeland Security, if you're taken by ICE, or some other entity, because we have like 6 or 7 different types of entities that are involved in this, which includes the local police, the sheriffs, and all those guys. And I think Jones up north or somewhere, he's contracted his county, to take in immigrants. Well, at least he's taking them in the United States, but here people are being carted off to different countries. And I just can't see how someone could be arrested, and it's not really resistance. If someone comes up to take you, they have a mask on, they don't show ID, it's really under the color of law. And you know who used to do that type of stuff? It was the Hillside Strangler and his uncle. They used to do that in LA. They used to pose as police, take people off the street, and then, do whatever they did with them, which was murder. And, I feel that I can't believe that no one is standing up to this that actually is in the law. Another thing too is that it seems if you're going to be deported, a lot of these people have their own money and everything like that. They could be deported to the country where they live, and there's assets that are looked at right now. People have homes, they have businesses, they have vehicles, they have property, personal, private, real property, and all of a sudden to be moved away from the country. Are we still on?
Yep.
Okay. Being moved out of the country in such a manner, is that it's disrupting a lot, and everybody looks at the economic side. Oh, the money they're paid in taxes. Cesar Chavez used to say, did say, it's not about lettuce, it's about people. And, the DACA, the way DACA has been handled since Obama gave them status, basically as, holding off from them getting deported, the DACA applicants, is they're low-hanging fruit. Anybody that made application for asylum, anybody that registered in order to seek some type of immigrant status, all the kids that are DACA applicants, I mean, they're registered. they check in, and it just means the next appointment, because there really is no judicial review within immigration. They have judges that just deny everything. And the judges that don't right now, that don't deny everything, they're being fired. And so I just I don't understand how this can continue. One person that I know that is a DACA applicant, I took a look at her Facebook page, and she had something like 83 friends, which is really unusual. She's probably very picky about who she puts on her Facebook page, because most people have like 200, 300 friends. And the residual effect of a deportation, to have just for example 100 friends in Facebook who are friends, who also have family and friends, is that you're talking about it's not going to affect 800,000. Just an example for the DACA applicants, it's not going to just affect those 800,000 people. You can compound that by 10. It's going to affect 8 million people. So I think probably a reaction to this is going to have to be some type of general strike. And if these guys are stupid enough to go after the migrant farm workers, I mean, the farm workers just not go to work for a week, and everything perishes. So and I think to hear stories where ICE has raided a nightclub and arrested 100 people, I think what they're really looking for is a reaction. They're going to places where people will react. I mean, you don't go to a nightclub, any nightclub, and arrest 100 people and not expect a reaction. I think actually that happened, I think in LA, or it happened somewhere, is that not to have any type of incident is amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. That people didn't react to that, violently. So it's actually, the people who are being targeted are very peaceful. So I don't know. It'd be nice if they could. I'd love for Canada to say, "Okay, just come on over. We need your help here." That'd be wonderful, just have everybody move north. Or but people need to make their what do you do with a couple that someone's from El Salvador and someone that's married, a married couple that one's from El Salvador, one's from Mexico, so, and they have children, and there just seems to be these guys bring a lot of hate in your heart. It's not really it's not practical.
Yeah, it's not all love and games. That's right, with the Trump issue.
Yeah, the first thing, I guess what we really need to focus on is he has to go. And it has to happen as soon as we can possibly do it. The only way we can do it is basically to vote. And that's under attack too. So that's another issue. That could be another salon for sure. That's what I have to say about that.
No, thank you. I think that those are commonly held concerns, and yeah, the mimics that may come down the road, which may have already come down the road of somebody acting as though they're a person of authority, and absconding with people. We already are having people die in custody. A Haitian woman, 44 years old, perished just this week.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's, but we are having some wins. I mean, some of the students have been reinstated because of the thing. So, as people say, the shotgun approach that they've done is meant to try to overwhelm people. And if we stay the course, I think the justice league will win somehow. I don't know what that means, but at this point, we got to stay the course. We got to organize. Got to keep organizing. Got to show movies and read books and do everything, study and teach the kids and students at PK to all the way to graduate school plus. So yeah, it's a challenge.
It's a challenge, and we have to follow the principles of peace that Martin Luther King spoke about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
6 principles of nonviolence.
Chuck, I see you jumped on it, and Lynn jumped off right when you jumped on. So she mentioned in her chat for leaving chat that there's a plastic people movie that you're showing on the May 18th, something like that. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Sunday the 18th at Grandview Theater.
Yeah. You got moved from the 35, Studio 35. You got moved from Studio 35 for some reason, and then you had to go over to Grandview for some reason. So you want to get into that? No, I don't want to get into all that. But
Eric Brimbeck owns both theaters, so it was more convenient to do it at Grandview.
Okay. Great.
So you all come. Sorry, I'm too old to navigate the stupid link, but Suzanne sent me the right one.
No, it's good. You got on right at the right time. You tag teamed with Lynn right away. Lynn was jumping off and you jumped on. It was like Simply Living planned it just like a track team. So it was good. So it's very good. And thank you again for Simply Living co-organizing, helping with the salons in the recent months. That's been very helpful, and it's I think it's a good match. It's a good marriage. So let's continue to explore what that might mean down the road a little bit. So yeah, I see Teresa, your surveillance from Wired reported ICE entering into 30 million contract. Yeah, with Palantir to expand their scope of surveillance. Yeah, the private industry is definitely licking its chops. Private prison industries and the contracts that even public facilities that are hurting for money. Butler County is notorious for opening its doors because it's the county is very very much in economic need. So that these ICE contracts bring money in. I don't know if it's the best money, but it does bring money in for them. So that's why the sheriff always is like the first one to say "Me too" type when they're saying "Ice, ice, ice, come on, baby, ice." So yeah, and then Andrill, there's another one. We have a lot of issues coming up in Central Ohio that we need to stay up on top of, and we continue to hope that the Columbus Free Press can cover as those issues and continue to be the media that we hope it to be. So Suzanne, you've just raised up your hand. So
I wanted to point out that I wanted to thank Nevin. I don't know if he's still on, that he's been translating certain Free Press articles into Spanish for our website.
Great.
So I
That's
just wanted to give a shout out to Nevin and thank him very much for doing that.
Yeah.
His skills are being put to good use. So thank you, Nevin.
It's good. It's good that he retired, so now he has a little bit of extra time now, so he can do that. That's great. And any other language?
We have a Spanish-speaking Pope now.
That's right. Well, actually, 6 languages. He probably does native languages as well. If he was in Peru for a long time, I'm sure he picked up some Mayan or something down there. But yeah, he's Italian, Latin, Spanish, English, and what's it called? Another one. I'm forgetting right now. Another one. But yeah.
Plus Creole roots.
Creole. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Teresa, again, thank you for your work that you're doing and keep doing it. And when you get a chance to do a little writing or get some of those students to write something up and let us post it up, that'd be great. They probably had some good papers at the end of the semester that they may want to share to the public a little larger. Only the A ones, though, please. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm teasing. I didn't write A papers for a long time. I probably still don't, but I did learn in college that you have to write very simply to make complicated worlds simply understood. You can't.
Well, at least answer the question.
At least answer the question. That's true. Yeah, no, I thought I was going to be the next Faulkner, actually. And it was when I was 17 years old, I wanted to be Faulkner. So I would write these sentences that were a whole page long.
Any writing that students do on their own is a
Booby.
win. Any writing that gets turned in without AI's help is a win.
You like an AI, huh? It's helping them a little bit.
No.
No. Okay.
It's not. They think it's helping. It's not.
Yeah. Well, that's too bad to hear because some folks, were hoping that the AI would help with grading if at all possible or anything like that. So, who's on iPhone 3? Are you wanting to say anything, or I hear you moaning every so often? All right. Well, I agree. Again, it's 8:13, 8:15. I think we should either say Happy New Year's, no, Happy Mother's Day, and let each other go on to our next steps. And thank you again for stepping and taking a little time out to mark May Salon on May 10th, 2025 for the Columbus Free Press Salon on immigrant and worker rights. And we have many good things coming up. June Salon will be somewhere. We'll get that together soon. It is the same weekend, I think, is it? Yeah, the same weekend as Pride Festival. So we may, I don't know. We'll have to figure that one out. I think it's the same day. So, all right. Oh, we should have been stopped that a long time ago. Stephen, you good? You got anything for the national progressive talks on Monday? Is there something coming up that should be definitely paid attention to?
Involving, once again, Ohio, that central nexus of right